everyone, and welcome to another Morning in the Mountains English with Joseph podcast. During the last few months, the last 9 episodes, I've been looking at different expressions of British culture, different things about British culture, some of which are okay and some of which are just a little bit strange. Well, today we're going to talk about art. Now, art is a very personal thing. I'm sure that you have your favourite photos or your favourite pictures, and I'm also sure you would be willing to defend those and to say why they're your favourite. Well, let me begin by defining art, because in English, it's not just about the pictures. It's also about something much bigger. It is true to say that art, for example, paintings, does define a picture. Okay, so if you want to describe a piece of art, usually we're talking about Leonardo da Vinci or another famous artist. Actually, there's a Russian one that I really like who always draws pictures of lighthouses. It probably isn't right to say that he draws them, he paints them. And as well as lighthouses, he also does beautiful skies, and he seems to play a lot with light and the sea. In fact, all of his pictures seem to be about the sea somehow or other. I can't remember his name, but I'm sure somebody out there is going to tell me. Well, that's just an example of one piece of art. There's also modern art, which I don't think anybody understands. Modern art can just be a few strokes on a piece of paper. It doesn't say much, but people can walk past it and say, what a wonderful expression, And I'm always a bit confused by that. I don't think anybody understands modern art, except maybe a few pretentious people. But as I said a moment ago, art in English is something much deeper. Let's look at the arts, for example. Now, the arts cover more than just painting pictures or sketching someone's face. The arts are all about different expressions of creativity. Dancing, for example, is covered in the arts. Literature, books, famous authors. That's another example of the arts. Classical music, the arts. Basically anything creative can be called the arts. This is quite confusing for a lot of people because when we hear the word art, even with an S, we automatically think of paintings. I don't know why we do that, because in English, art is a much bigger topic. Anything which is expressing a feeling, whether it's the Diary of Anne Frank, Me at the Piano, even cooking can be described as an art form. How you define something which is artistic really very much depends on yourself. So let me just go over that again, what we've been saying. Art is the painting. The art can be anything which you've created or anybody has created. And generally speaking, these things are called the arts. The arts. It seems to me that every town has some kind of modern art centre. And it doesn't only include art hanging on the wall. It often includes things like, for example, a statue or some kind of modern expression of something which has been chiseled out from a piece of stone. I'm wondering about your town and what you have. But in Glasgow in Scotland, there's the CCA, the Centre for Contemporary Arts. Sounds very grandioso, doesn't it? But when you go inside, you soon realise that it's something which is in part funded by the government in one of their efforts to try and restore arts in a post-industrial society. Not only that, but I think many of these places are also run by the National Lottery. The National Lottery, that's when you pay for a lottery ticket every week, has a charitable side, and many people can benefit from that if they are registered as a charity. So I know that the Centre for Contemporary Arts relies heavily on grants from the government and from the National Lottery as well, I think, as do many other artistic places in this country. I want you to take a moment and think about what your favorite piece of art is. And also, regarding the arts, which art do you like to go and see? I've already mentioned that my favorite piece of art, or I should say maybe my favorite paintings that I've seen, has been by a Russian who works a lot with the sea and light. There's also a painting hanging in the National Gallery in London, which is called The Wounded Poacher. And in that painting, you see a man who's hurt himself being attended to by his wife. It looks like kind of Victorian photo, maybe a little bit older. I'm sure you can find it online. These are my favorite bits of art. When it comes to the art, well, I love piano music. I love sculpting. I don't sculpt myself, but I do like to look at sculptures. I'm quite amazed when a piece of marble or stone can become so beautiful when it's defined as a person or an animal with so much emotion. I think Michelangelo did a lot of sculpting. That's a very good example of the wider definition of art. So regarding the arts as opposed to paintings, I really love classical music. I love sculptures. And I also love, of course, the piano. That's one of my babies because I like to play the piano. These are all classed as the arts. So I'm wondering, what famous bits of art do you know? Well, of course, there's I think everyone knows the Mona Lisa, which is in the Louvre in Paris. France is very famous for the arts generally, meaning classical music and other things that it has. And I'm wondering about your country. What arts is your country famous for? I know that in Russia they have ballet, a form of dance. Now that's a very famous type of artistic demonstration. That really is a good example of the arts. If you have a favorite book, you also could describe that genre of books as the arts. Most Sunday newspapers here, like the Sunday Times, Sunday Telegraph, The Guardian, they come with a Sunday edition. And usually that Sunday edition is, guess what, called the arts. Yes, that's right. So it seems to be there's a tradition now in Sunday newspapers to carry an arts feature or a pull-out arts magazine where you can find out what's happening in the world of arts. I like to look at the internet for examples of the arts. and of course for art itself, because it really is very beautiful. So many different things that you can see. One TV channel that I subscribe to online is called Medici TV. I'm not sure it's actually an Italian station, but it's basically an internet-only TV channel for classical music, opera, ballet, and documentaries. It's kind of like the Netflix of classical music. Everything is there, and you can choose what you want to see, and it's updated hourly or daily. Both of the piano magazines I subscribe to, one is called The Pianist, and the other is called International Piano, are all from the field of the arts. So there we are. That's the difference between arts and the arts. Don't forget to leave a comment and let me know what arts or from the arts are your favorites, and if I came to your city or town, what I could expect to find there. Have a wonderful day, everyone. I hope you're enjoying the good weather. As for me, well, I've been studying Persian these last few months. I think this is my second month. I'm about a month and a half maybe into it. And I have to say, it's fun. And it reminds me what you all have to go through to learn. So I'm busy updating my Quizlet. I have 500 Persian words on there now, and all I have to do is remember them. It sounds so easy, doesn't it? But now I know what you all have to go through. This is my third language. English is my first, Spanish is a good second, and Persian is my third. And I'm really hoping to get to a good level of communication quite quickly. I don't use words like elementary, beginner, intermediate, and advanced, because what these words do is they work to give you less confidence about yourself. Because if someone tells you you're a beginner, you think, oh, I wish I was intermediate. And if someone tells you you're intermediate, you probably would say, oh no, I don't believe them. I don't think I am because I can't do this. And then, of course, when you get to advanced, proudly you should be saying, oh, my English is at an advanced level. What you actually say is, oh no, I'm not so sure about that. So it seems no matter what we do, we can never escape the label that someone puts upon us or we put upon ourselves. So for me personally, I don't ever agree with this idea of intermediate, elementary. But what I do know is that every day we all go through different things. Some days we can speak English fluently, and other days we can't. And that's the same for native speakers. Sometimes I find myself talking and then thinking, oh, what word am I looking for here? I can't find it. So we're not robots. So if someone's put a label on you of intermediate, advanced, or whatever, you don't have to accept that. You're free to see yourself in any way you want. And all you need to know is, today, I speak English well. That's it from me. Enjoy the good weather. Bye-bye.